Let's close out this section of the tutorial with an alternative method for targeting movie clips. Another way to target both movie clips and other objects is to use the with action. Instead of creating multiple target paths to the same movie clip, you can use the with action to target a movie clip only once. Imagine that in our clock movie, we wanted to make one of the clock hands both stop and shrink 50%. We would do that by targeting the movie clip 3 times and then writing the action, in this case stop, or scale X and scale Y equals 0.5. That'll shrink it 50%. Now another way to do this is to use this syntax, with, and then go ahead and target the instance just one time, and then go ahead and write the actions below that like so. Here, we're temporarily setting the scope to the clock underscore hour movie clip. So the method and properties between the curly braces affect only this particular path. When the action ends, any subsequent statements refer only to the current timeline. So in this case, I'm right here on the main timeline. Anything I wrote on below down here would affect only the main timeline. Let me go ahead and delete all this line of code here since I don't need it twice. You can also find this working code in the file target underscore clock underscore hands underscore with in the work files folder. If we go ahead and do a control test movie, you'll notice that the hand there is still moving, but it's been shrunk 50%. I can also take out the remark right there and stop it. I get a little error message that says this method stop is no longer supported. So to avoid getting that error, I took it out, but it is stopped. Let's now go back and play around with the scale property. Let's remark back our stop. Let's scale this instead of 0.5 to 5. This is going to increase the size of the hour hand 5 times. And you can see there it is, very big. I can also just change one of the scales. Let's just scale this X equals 5. So go ahead and play around with this, introducing a new property. You can see that because I'm only scaling in one direction, it's getting a little bit funny as it spins around the clock face, but I can also target different movie clips. You can also practice that. For example, let's go ahead and use the target path tool, and let's target the seconds hand right here, like so. I'm using a relative path, control test movie, and notice that now it's the seconds hand that's been altered. Let's change this to 1.5 and this to 0.5. In other words, I can just experiment around and get different effects here. That's kind of an interesting effect on that second hand. So there you have an alternate way of pathing to your various movie clips using the with method. That will conclude this section of the tutorial on controlling multiple timelines with ActionScript. In this section, you've learned about the movie clip class, the target path tool, how to write absolute and relative paths, as well as how to target timelines using the with action. Let's now move on to the next section of the tutorial, communicating through the web browser. And let me introduce you to our next project, how to script preloader animations so that your users won't have to wait looking at a blank screen while the rest of your Flash file downloads.